Hello, ladies. I hope everyone is doing good. I'm going to give it a couple minutes. I do see 3 people on. I am doing it. Can everyone hear me okay? Hi, Gina. Yes, it is time for spicy. Yes, I am doing a bit better. Unfortunately, because my phone, um, unfortunately, my phone was dying. So I did have to do it on my computer. So I apologize if you see me kind of looking sideways or looking down. Um, I have my notes on my phone as well, so I'm double backed up for there. Um, there we go. um, the only. Okay, I can. Yes. Okay, so I can read your comments. Hello, Kirsten. Hello, Gina. Okay, now we're gonna get into it. So. See, Gina, see. Excuse you, sir. I don't think they want to see you. Sorry, ladies. Alright, ladies, so. Excuse you. Oh my goodness. If you will move. I apologize so very much, ladies. My furry puppy son decided that he needed to be on it too. I am so sorry. I apologize, ladies. Um I'm sorry. Nick! They don't want to see you, silly. Alright. So, yes. So, ladies, without a further ado or further furry interruptions, let's get into it. Alright, so, thank you. So, sex magic is any type of sexual activity and is used in magical or ritualistic or otherwise religious and spiritual pursuits. Oh no! Can anybody hear me? Casey said that she couldn't hear. Can everyone else hear me good? Hi, Ellen. How are you, love? Okay, just making sure. Alright, so, hi, Tanessa. So, um, one practice of sex magic. Yes, I'm doing well, love. So, one practice of sex magic is usually using sexual arousal or orgasm with visualization of a desired result. A premise foisted by sex magicians is the concept of basically that sexual energy is a potent force. My bad. Um, that can be harnessed to transcend one's normally perceived reality. So it kind of works. It kind of works just as any other magic would, except for we use things that would normally be closed behind doors. Um, so it's kind of like you can think of it like your intention is a spell and your body is a cauldron. Um, so that's one way that you can think of it. So It's called sex magic, and it harnesses the chronically suppressed power of the male and female sexual energy to manifest an intention. And it's more on the modern side of magic nowadays versus how it was. Um, when sex magic first appeared, it was one of those definite kind of like hush hush things um, that nobody talked about because it was more of the taboo type of magic. It was more of the, it was unheard and unseen of, and you were kind of looked or shunned in the witchcraft community if you did it, because a lot of the times it could also play into blood magic as well, um, due to us females having a. Sir, you have done enough. Sorry, ladies. Oh no, you're good, Chelsea. You can watch it if you want. Sex magic does not require a partner. You can do it by yourself, but I totally understand. That is perfectly fine. Um, if you would go ahead, um, love and let your crone know in your group, um, kind of like what's going on. It's perfectly understandable. We do have a couple of members that do not watch a couple of the lives because it's not within their practice or something like this comes up. So you're perfectly fine, love. Um, but, sorry, ladies. Um, Crap, I forgot where I was. Oh, yes. So, um, because us ladies have a. Sir, I will fight you here in a second. Sorry. So, because us ladies have a menstrual, it could easily tie into blood magic and be used as such along with sex magic. Um, so, as we all know, blood magic. My gosh, you furry mountain, move! So, as we all know, blood magic was also a taboo type of magic at the time, but since the modern era, it has definitely come back and has played a bigger part in the modern age. Um, so now that I have told you what sex magic is, kind of like a brief summary, I will tell you what it is not. Um, sex magic isn't some sort of kinky parlor game, although it can be. A little, not too much going into the lifestyle, but if you ladies are familiar with the term BDSM, um, you can incorporate that into your sex magic due to the nature of kind of like being tied up, is a way that a lot of people can incorporate it into. Sex magic is actually very simple. Um, I am going to fight you, okay? I'm going to hash it out with you. Um, so you can incorporate BDSM into your practice, but you don't have to. A lot of the time, practitioners will incorporate BDSM due to the nature of it. Um, and it is from sources and other things like that that it is kind of like it takes them to another level, per se, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Um, but I just wanted to throw that out there in case anybody had any questions about that. Um, because it is used a lot of the time in sex magic as well. So it is not intended to jazz up a luster love life or increase your chances of getting laid on a Saturday night. I do have a lot of jokes in here. I'm sorry, ladies. Please forgive me. But the main purpose isn't even sexual equipment or procreation at all. Um, Having said all that, however, it is quite likely your intimate relationships and sexual satisfaction will improve as a result of practicing sex magic. Um, That isn't just the primary objective, though. Sex magic is a means to an end, a way to mobilize the amazing creative power of sexual energy to generate a desired result. Basically, you do sex magic for the same reasons you would do any other type of magic. Um, to cause something that you desire to happen. Your goal might be to promote healing or attract money or achieve spiritual enlightenment, but when you add your sexual energy, it can increase the intensity of a magic spell, like it's adding more, for example, adding more octane to gasoline. It just fuels up that fire even more. Did that make sense, ladies? I hope it did. Does anybody have any questions so far? Am I going too fast? I hope I'm not going too fast. Okay. Does anybody have any questions so far? Or are we okay? Are we good? Okay, I don't see anything, so I'm going to go ahead and move on, and then if there's a question, I'll go ahead and I'll answer it. So, uniting mind and body. Sexual energy is the same as life energy. Its nature is to create, and in the most rudimentary sense. Okay. The union of male and female spawns normally require you to make a physical child. However, every sexual act creates a child on the spiritual plane. Regardless of whatever a flesh and blood is produced on the material plane. That one threw me through a doozy, ladies. So it did throw me through a loop when I started reading and learning about it. So I hope that wasn't the only I wasn't the only one shocked by that one. You are being such a lush rat right now. Yeah, Tanessa. Yeah, it is actually sourced in a couple of the books that I have as well, that every time the male and female forces come together, that it does create a child on the spiritual plane. So I wouldn't necessarily say soul, Casey, but there's so much energy there that it creates a childlike spiritual pressure, if that makes a bit more sense. Yeah, when I read it, I wasn't sure how I felt about it either, Kirsten. um, so, again, during sex, this is why I'm a bit nervous about this live, ladies. I apologize. During sex, you actually plant seeds with your thoughts into the fertile womb, per se, of the cosmic matrix. You impregnate the matrix with what is known as a magical child. Sir, get out of my window. So, I hope that made a bit more sense. Shoto Todoroki. No, sir. I will call your father, and you know it. Stop it. Did that make a bit more sense that I finished it, or is it a bit still like, oh hell no? Yeah, you're right, Casey. It's just, I don't know if you can see it, but my cheeks are still red. I get really nervous on topics like this. but please don't mind me. Um, when I first wanted to do this live, I was going into it with like the most sheer confidence. I was like, no, I got this. I'm a perfect adult. I can adult things like this now. And now that I'm in it, I'm just like, eh. Like, I just want to hide under a blanket and explain the rest, but you know. um, so, again, you impregnate the Matrix with what's known as a magical child. Um, there's actually quite a few references that I will be showing at the end of the live, and I will be showing the books and stuff like that I do own and possess that mention it. If that's okay, Kirsty. Yeah. Okay, so Kirsten said, okay, I know nowadays it's not as practiced. Oh my gosh. But what about the past where it wasn't always as consensual? Does the energy match the energies? So, when it comes to, and I'll get into this later as well, when it comes to doing sex magic on your own, it does tend to not create that type of child because the two energies are not conjoined, but instead it'll make a smaller version of that child. Um, and it'll create the feminine side of that child. Um, if that makes sense. Um, and as far as where it wasn't always consensual, in order for sex magic to work, and what I've read, I could be wrong, but from what I've read, it has to be consensual in order to work. Um, because it has to take either yourself or you and your partner or you and your group or however may you, it has to take everybody's consent in order for it to work. It can't just be one-sided, unless you are doing it by yourself. Does that make sense? Okay. Just making sure, love. Okay, so, your thoughts and emotions are the hammer and chisel with which you crave your reality from the raw material of the universe. Um, 2,500 years ago, the Buddha said, with our thoughts, we make the world. And that's kind of where, that child comes into play, per se. So, in essence, what this means is that everything we experience in our sensory worlds will evolve from our individual and collective thoughts to successfully perform magic, and of any kind needed a focused mind. And sex will often, 99.9% of the time, requires your total focus. Whether you are what I call a top energy or a bottom energy, or in modern terms, a dominant or a submissive. Yeah, Tanessa, that would definitely be a trigger warning, just in case for the people that have gone through that. But you are completely right. It is nothing but bad energy, and it normally does not work with sex magic like that. Thank goodness it does not. But there are a couple of, I guess you could say, cult-like people. I'm not bashing any cult, but some of them do that in order to get a desired result. But I wanted to look at the positive aspect of this versus things associated with that. I am not going to say it due to the simple fact of it could be a trigger warning. Facebook could sadly take down the video if I were to say it. But I do understand where you are coming from, love, and I totally agree with you. But I definitely agree with you there. So, again, in the essence, what this means is that everything we experience in our sensory worlds evolves from our individual and collective thoughts. Orgasm, by its very true nature, requires total participation. During an orgasm, you are utterly present, complete in the moment, and when you do sex magic, you kick things up a notch. You throw another log onto the fire, and you fan the flames, per se. Sex magic propels you into a mind, body, and spirit experience, and your mind creates an intention. Your body provides the fuel, and your spirit guides the result. So, this goes for everyone. You can be ace, you can be bi, I'm bisexual, you can be straight, you can be anything that you want to be. Can anyone do sex magic? Yeah. Like I said, Casey, I just try to avoid it. For those that have gone through it in the group, because I do not want them to be triggered or have PTSD from just the word alone. So I will refrain from saying it. I hope that does not make anybody mad. I just want to think about everybody. If that makes sense, love. I do apologize if I'm switching you guys around. I'm just switching from leg to leg, really. So can anyone do sex magic? Yes. Absolutely. If you already follow a magical path or belief system, it is great that you can incorporate sex magic into it. Excuse me, ladies, sorry. The guidelines for sex magic are essentially the same as any other type of magic, except for... See, here's another one of my jokes, ladies, so... bear with me. I had to put some jokes in here to break from my, nervousness, per se. But... they're essentially the same as for any other type of magic, except for when you do sex magic, you're driving a Porsche instead of a Honda Civic. Again, ladies, I'm sorry. So if you don't orgasm, it basically kills the energy. As I stated before, it requires, your mind sets the intention, your body is a fuel and power, and once you orgasm, your spirit will guide that intention to the universe. So whenever you don't orgasm, or you aren't able to, it does end up killing that magic. And I am trying so hard not to make so many sexual jokes, ladies. I apologize so very much. Forgive me, ladies. It's kind of like, when you play, with yourself, and somebody walks in and, like, you just stop. It just kills the vibe. It kind of works in the same sense. If that makes sense, Casey. So, yeah. Sex magic is like you're driving a Porsche instead of a Honda Civic. I am so sorry, ladies. But what if you don't just, subscribe or think of any particular thought or anything like that? Yes. Thank you, Casey. I could not think of the actual term for it. Um, Anyone, regardless of ideology, can do sex magic. Sexual energy is neutral. Um, it has no conscience or no inherent moral quality attached to it. It it's just like fire. It's neither good nor bad. It depends on who is the one using it, if you want to think about it that way. Um, so this one goes out to all of my LGBTQ people, all my straight people, all my lovely, whatever say you. Yeah, Tanessa, pretty much. Handcuff him to that bed. um, so, do you need a partner of the opposite gender to do sex magic? Um, oh, you're very welcome, Christy. No problem, love. Like I said, I wanted to, when we were scheduling the lives for January, I was like, I want to start the new year hot and heavy. And now as I'm doing it, I'm like, shit, I should have put ice on that. But, like you said, we'll get through it. So do you need a partner of the opposite sex to do sex magic? Not in most cases. Sex magic relies on the blending of male and female energies. But when we speak of male and female energies, however, we are not referring to men and women. Um, Everyone, regardless of gender, has both masculine and feminine energies. And this is where you can do it solo. Oh no! I I did say warning, ladies, at the beginning. Well, not at the beginning of the video, but I did forewarn you before the live started to please don't watch this, around anybody. I'm so sorry, Casey. I probably just traumatized your 16-year-old. I'm so sorry. Um, but going back to yeah, Tanessa, I agree with you 100%. No better person but to do me as I am pregnant. um, but this is where that child comes back into play. As everyone does have those male and female energies. So even as you do it on your own or by yourself, or even with a toy, um, oh no, Kirsten. I love you, ladies. But this is where that spiritual child does come back into play. Sorry. Um, so the same sex couples can do sex magic as successfully as opposite sex couples can. You don't need a physical partner to perform your sex magic solo. You can do masturbation. You can use a toy. You can do. You can do anything. The sky is the limit with this one, ladies. Mwah. I love you too, but I need you to move. um, so you don't need a physical partner to perform sex magic. Solo sex magic, as in masturbation, can also be very effective. In fact, it may be a good idea to practice alone for a while before you start working with your partner or your magical partner. Um, you can even, and I am not promoting God spousing. I am not, ladies. This is where I take it very seriously. Whenever I say this, that does not mean that I'm saying, oh, you can be God's spouse to this deity. No. What I am saying is there are certain deities that you can call upon. And I will list some of them below, but there are hundreds of deities across multiple mythologies, and I just could not fit them all. But this is where a lot of people do get confused with God spousing, because a lot of people that do God spousing take their relationships very seriously, and some of them are that is definitely a good that is definitely a good, ideology to have, Casey. um but this is where a lot of God spousing people may get confused. Again, I am not bashing God spousing, but I say this with the utmost respect, as there may be a couple of people in the group that do God spousing, and they take their sexual relationships with the deities very seriously. But you can even call upon a deity to participate with you. But that subject requires more of a discussion than we have room for. So, that is why I said it is not a form of God spousing. You basically call upon that deity like you would with any other type of magic, and you you ask them to lend you energy or whatever may you. So I hope that makes perfect sense. Creating a telos. Now this one's pretty interesting as well. Before engaging in sex, decide on a telos, or an objective you intend to bring about. Sorry, ladies. Shoto! No! Come here! Come here! Lay down. But, no, hush up. No. Hush up, Buttercup. So, choose only one objective at the time so you can direct your undivided attention towards it. When your body's zinging, again, ladies, I apologize. I have quite a few jokes in here. Oh, no problem, Gina. So when your body is zinging like a slot machine with a winning combination, it's hard enough to focus your mind on your intention. But this is not the place to multitask. If you are working with a partner or a group of people, discuss your telos in advance. And make sure everybody agrees on the result that you intend to generate. So, again, as I said in the beginning, everything has to be consensual in order for it to work properly. Because if not, it won't work out for anybody. If each of you have a different agenda, then the outcome that you produce will likely be garbled or conflicted. Your conflicting intentions might even block or neutralize one another's, and neither of you will get what you want through it. Keep it simple. Compose your telos or your intentions in the form of a affirmation. Your telos should be something that you can easily hold in your mind and perhaps shout out loud as well. When you are in the throes of ecstasy. So you may want to create a picture to represent your telos. Images can generate results even more effectively than words. That's because your subconscious understands the language of the symbols, myth, and metaphor better than English, Spanish, French, or any other spoken tongue. If you have an artistic flair, excuse you, sir. Your furry self needs to move. If you have an artistic flair, consider designing a painting or collage that depicts your intention. Tarot cards are also very good visual tools to use in sex magic. Excuse me, ladies. As the rich colors, imagery, and other symbolism of the tarot cards speak directly to your subconscious. Choose a card that will symbolize your telos, and look back at it as you engage in sex to remind you of your objective. Runes work as well. Familiarize yourself with their meanings and pick one that relates to your intention. You can even finger paint a rune on your partner's body as well. In sex magic, images offer you another advantage. You can look at the picture and subconsciously grasp its meaning, even if you are too blissed out to remember your own name. And I say that because I've actually had to do that before. I've had to pull the card that I needed in order to remember. So, that is why I put that in there. um, so, does anybody have any questions so far? Yes, Ellen. I actually own a sex tarot deck that I keep in a pouch for those specific nights. So, does anybody have any questions before I move on? Or is everything kind of crystal clear so far? I hope everything's crystal clear so far. Okay, don't see any comments so far, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep going, and then I'll answer your questions as I see them pop up. Okay, the nitty-gritty. As you've probably guessed, there's a lot more to sex magic than making mad, passionate love day and night. If that were all you had to do, my bad, no one would be poor or sick or unhappy. Sex magic is both a art and a skill, in my opinion. Like any other art or skill, it does require learning certain techniques, then practicing those techniques to build up your magical muscles like you would any other type of magic. Like, for example, if you were doing tarot or you were doing runes. Excuse me, sir, I know you're itchy, but you're shaking me. I am so sorry. My dog is just on one tonight, ladies. I apologize. So the first step is to slow down. Many of us tend to rush in and try to get towards the finish line as fast as we can rather than pacing ourselves during sex. But drawing out the experience and allowing your sexual energy to build gradually enhances your magical power. Luxuriate into your sensuality. Let your excitement slowly increase until you feel almost ready to come. Then back off. I know how it sounds, but when you... no, not really. He settled down pretty quickly. He's just kind of what we like to call a lush rat, where he just wants love and kisses and hugs and will not leave you alone until he gets them. And as you ladies saw, he got all up in my face. So he's just having one of those lush rat moments. And he's also being a turkey nut because he won't move. But other than that, he's fine, love. He's just being a turkey nut. But just as you start to build up and you start to feel that certain feeling, stop. Draw your hands away and just stop. Do some deep breathing, like you would for meditation. Shift from the genital stimulation, either, I'm sorry, ladies. I'm just going to read it how I wrote it. Shift from the genital simulation to stroking other parts of the body, whether it be your arms, back, feet, or so on. When the immediacy of your orgasm has subsided, gradually elevate the level of, excuse you, um, elevate the level of excitation until once again you get that feeling. Then you just want to back away again. And you'll do this until you reach to the point of no return. And again, this is where BDSM takes place. What it is called is, it's been on the top of my head all day. Damn it. I want to say it's called, damn it, I should know this. I really should. Oh, I can't think of it. Kinda, but not in the same way, Casey. BDSM is a mixture of sadism, masochism, bondage, and dominance. Bondage, dominance, sadism, and masochism. It kind of takes things to the extreme, but not so much. Denial play is what it is called. It is where your partner will take you to the point of no return, and they will keep denying you your release until they get, yes, thank you, Casey, and submission. They'll take you until they want you to do it, basically. Please don't ask how I know that. Anyway, ladies. So I hope that helps. Again, ease off again, and continue in the manner for as long as you like, slowly and steadily building the intensity. With practice, you'll learn how to stay on edge for an extended period of time. During this period of high arousal, keep your telos in your mind, or your intention in your mind. You're fine, love. So during this period of high arousal, keep your telos in mind. The more intense your feelings, the faster you can attract what you desire. In this near orgasmic state, your magnetic power is tremendous. And this is why I said in the very beginning that your mind is the intention and your body is the cauldron. This is why I said that. Because as you get more and more into it, it tends to definitely create more and more of that power. So, you don't have to focus keenly on your objective all the time, but remain aware of the purpose for your engaging in this sexual ritual or act. As you raise your energy and cycle it through your body, mentally attach your intention into that energy. When you're finally ready to release the energy you've built up, hold your intention or telos clearly in your mind and feel the pleasure of having your desired outcome manifest in your life. Then, let your orgasm wash through you. Sorry, ladies. As it does, it'll sweep your intention before it, like a wave pushing a boat along its coast. The momentum you've generated carries your telos out into the universe, where it lodges the fertile womb, again, of the matrix, and creates that magical child. After orgasm, relax and stop thinking about your telos or your intention. Enjoy the calm after the tempest and allow the universe to do its part now. So, deity is associated with sex magic. As everyone knows, Aphrodite, she is the goddess of love, sex, and beauty. Dionysus, he is the god of wine and pleasure. Eos is the Greek dawn goddess. Anthros. I know, I was so pale this morning, and now I'm just like super warm. Um, Anthros is the god of requited love. Santa Muerte, if you are on this group, we have talked about her before through our lovely crone Eva. So if you wish to know more about Santa Muerte, I highly encourage you go watch her live. She has a ton of amazing information about her. She is also known as the Holy Death, and she helps you attract love, lust, and sex. Eostre is the Germanic dawn goddess. Freya is the goddess of love, sex, beauty, setter, war, and death. Frigg is the goddess of marriage and women. Lothian is the goddess who has permission from Frigg to arrange the forbidden marriages. I'm going to pronounce this so bad. Sofjorn is the goddess associated with love. And there are so many more. But, does anybody have any questions? Because this is the end of the information that I have for you, lovely ladies. So does anybody have any questions that they wanted to ask? If not, I will go ahead and show the books that I have that I got from oh, thank you, Christy. Or Christy. I am so sorry. I've been pronouncing your name wrong all night, and I deeply apologize. Please forgive me. I keep trying to call you Kirsten and Christy, and it doesn't make it's not clicking. I highly apologize. But does anybody have any questions before I show the books that I got from one of our lovely members in another group? I'll go ahead and give it a minute. Okay. Oh, thank you. Alright, loves. So I will go ahead and show you the books that I have that go into a deeper connection with it. Oh, thank you, Tanessa. I try to be in all my lives, but this one I just wanted to like put the cherry on top. So I am very glad that I could do this for you ladies and give you a wonderful New Year's and a hot and steamy one at that. I hope it was as spicy as you expected. But I will go ahead and I will show you the books that I have. I only have 4, but there are so many out there with a ton of great information that I have been looking into to getting as well. See, Tanessa, it just kind of pops up when it wants to. So again, as I said a little bit ago, the Santa Muerte Magic for Love, Lust, and Sex is by Arnold Basilio. Basilio? I hope I'm saying that right. A lot of Hispanic names are a bit tricky. Especially for me, since even though I'm half Hispanic, and I should know this, my great-grandmother would talk to me in Spanish, but the rest of the family would talk to me in English, so it kind of just confused me after a while. But Santa Muerte Magic for Love, Lust, and Sex is a really great one, especially if you want to work with her. In this book, it goes through, and I'll read you a little bit of the table of contents. So it tells you how to do an altar for her, a true love seal. It has a couple of oils. It has a couple of, I guess you could say, positions. There's one in here that always makes me laugh. It's called the Cuckold Me Lover Petition. But this is an amazing book, especially if you want to do beginner things. There is one more book that I have. I lied. My bad. I have 5 of them. I will post the other one in this live as soon as I find it. I know it was in my books, but it slipped away from me, so I apologize. Um, but as soon as I find it, I will definitely show it to you, ladies. So this one is by Donald Michael Craig, and it is the Modern Sex Magic. This one, I want to say it's this one. Yes. This one actually shows you the different positions and things that you can do. And it also has diagrams of the genitalia, both male and female. So this one is also a great book for beginners. I absolutely love this book when I was reading it. I would show you some of these pictures, ladies, but we all know Facebook would definitely kill me if I did. So, this is another great book for beginners. And then, of course, you can't, immediately dive in without at least some beginner tips, right? So, Sex Magic for Beginners, Tips, Tricks, and to Optimize Your Sexual Energy and Power by Rosalind Vargas. This is another great book, especially if you want to go ahead and dive in. And lastly, Sex, Sorcery, and Spirit, The Secrets of Erotic Magic by Jason Miller. This one, I would have to say, was my absolute favorite out of all of them. He goes into teaching you what is the most potent types of play or sexual activities that you can do. So it really depends on you. But I adored the absolute living hell out of this book. This is the one that I recommend as number 1 if you want to get into sex magic. It is absolutely amazing. But other than that, ladies, that is all I have for you. If there are any questions, comments, or concerns, you can, you can always, ask. I'm pretty sure, I know I did not mention it, but, as we all know, sex magic leads to fertility. And as I am fertile with child, I can attest to that, because I only did one spell. One sex magic spell, okay, ladies? And now look at me. This is my little outcome for my sex magic spell, so I can attest. But, on a more serious note, if you have any other questions, comments, or concerns, ladies, please don't be afraid to text me, or, drop a comment, and I will be glad to answer them. And with nothing further, I bless you, lovely ladies. Yeah, no, you're good, Casey. I just thought I'd throw it out there, because there are so many different ways that you can do sex magic, not only for fertility, but for other things as well. But you're fine, love. But I just wanted to throw it out there because I know I didn't mention it at all. So for beginner witches, and I should have said this earlier, but you can do sex magic for fertility magic as well. So that is why I threw it out there. But without a further ado, ladies, I bless you a wonderful night, a happy New Year's, and may the rest of your year go beautifully, and may it come with many blessings. Blessed be, ladies, and have a wonderful night.